everybody, I hope you guys are doing well so far this week. I wanted to come to you guys with a love and hip hop review. I believe this is episode 5. And first things first, I am so glad that this is an episode not featuring the drama of Chrissy and Yandy, simply because I feel like we needed a break from that. In this episode, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am glad to see Erica Mena for once, okay? I usually don't care to see her. I don't really get involved or even want to pay attention to the storyline between her and Safari. But for once, because it's been mostly about Yandy and Chrissy kind of going back and forth, I actually welcomed Cyn and Erica and all those other guys on the screen this week. And which is what this episode was mainly about. It was mainly about the drama surrounding Erica, Tahiri, Cyn, and Safari. And of course, they had Jenna in there. And then Remy Ma, who was basically trying to balance motherhood and having a career. So before I get into the whole drama surrounding Erica Mena, I want to start with Jenna, Rich Dollaz, and Fresher. Now, you might remember on the last episode, it kind of ended when Jenna had a showcase. And Jen, that's Fresher's girlfriend, 6th to 6th grade, which I'm just going to keep saying that because it's just so utterly ridiculous, right? They got into it, okay? Because he was flirting with Jenna. It's clear as day. He was flirting with her, the little hand movements and stuff. And his girlfriend from the 6th grade came in and she broke that shit up, right? So Jenna started to taunt her. So when this episode starts, it basically starts with Jenna, she's in the recording studio. I guess Rich Dollaz was able to get her in to get some recording time. And she wants to apologize for Rich Dollaz, basically how she acted at her showcase. And he told her how unprofessional that was. And lo and behold, who should walk in at that very moment but Fresher, who starts to kind of fuss at her and tells her what she did was just unladylike. Like she shouldn't have acted like that. And then this is where I just found it kind of interesting, his response or lack of response here. So Jenna basically shoots back at him and is like, well, you need to control your bitch. And I thought to myself, now this was one of those times where I would have wanted that man to stand up for his, no matter what she said, even if she was right, even if Jenna was in the right, even if she was justified in how she felt. To me, that was a moment where he should have stood up and said, first of all, don't call her out of her name. And I felt like we didn't get that, which is probably why Jen is still the girlfriend that he has since the 6th grade, and she's not a wife. Okay. I just thought, listen, I don't even care if we acting. I don't care what we're doing. You're not going to call her out her name. She is the mother of my children. You're not going to refer to her like that. You're just not. But he didn't do that. Now, later on, we see Rich Dollaz and Jenna. I think they're at Hot 97. And what they're doing is, I guess she's freestyling or something like that. And then I guess the guy, they like her. And, they think she's talented. They're impressed with her. And then she decides at that moment that she wants to go ahead and make Rich Dollaz her manager over Fresher. Okay. Now, again, I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. I ain't never really seen nobody with Rich Dollaz pop off. I just haven't. I could be wrong, but I ain't never really seen nobody's career pop off due to Rich Dollaz. Just never. All right. So now we move on to Cyn. Cyn is at her home and she is having a little karaoke thing over at her place. And she invites Juju and Jonathan over. And they basically tell Cyn that Tahiri told them that Erica has been trying to get her and Joe back together. And of course, Cyn's not happy about that. As you know, her and Joe broke up a while back. Joe says that he came home and she was gone. She basically up and left. And we've also seen her on the internet saying she has been the happiest she's ever been, which means she's probably miserable. But she did say all of that. And now Cyn is feeling some type of way. All right. She's feeling some type of way and she decides, and they're like, well, you need to go talk to Joe. You need to talk to Joe. And she's feeling some type of way, like I said. And she talks to Joe and she's like, what's going on between you and Tahiri? And of course he has that stupid ass man look like, huh? Like he doesn't even know what she's talking about, which drives me crazy. It pisses me off when men do that, when they just act like they are so clueless to what you're saying. And how you were feeling in that moment. He's just looking like, huh? I don't understand. That just makes me so mad sometimes when men do that. But so Cyn pretty much kind of says, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I ain't the one to play with, right? I ain't the one. And here's, on one hand, okay, I feel where she's coming from. I do. I feel that she understands that Tahiri and Joe had a long relationship. Tahiri is the one where he got down on one knee in the middle of Times Square and proposed to, and she turned him down. So I could see why Cyn would possibly feel threatened by the fact that they're friends again or they're hanging out again. I can get that. But on the other hand, taking up for Joe, y'all not together no more. So you don't get to dictate to this man who he can and cannot hang out with. You don't get that right anymore. You have lost those privileges to dictate who he can kick it with. And I just think that that's kind of delusional in my opinion. But I'm going to get back into Cyn in a minute because of how it ties into Erica Mena. Because for once, I'm actually going to take up for Erica. I actually agree with her this episode. Shocking. Now, we move on to Safari. Oh, Safari. I think he's a sweet guy. I think he is a sweet guy, but he is such a cornball to me, and I cannot get over that. I just cannot get over that whole thing. The fact that he really is a cornball to me. He just is. I'm sorry. But anyway, he is in the doghouse with Erica Mena. And he's in the doghouse with Erica Mena because, if you might recall, he basically tried to admit, he tried to say that he did not invite Yandy to their wedding. Now, as it turns out, Yandy and Erica technically don't have a problem with each other. It was always perceived that there was an issue, but there really wasn't an issue, and they kind of cleared that up. But before all of that clear up, he did, in fact, invite Yandy without letting his fiance know that. And so she had some type of feeling. She had some feelings about that. All right. Now, here's where Safari pissed me off and where I agree with Erica, even though I think Erica is completely overdramatic about everything. I actually agree with her on this one. It was the way he kept lying about like he wasn't doing it. It was just like he just would not let up on the lie. She's like, listen, I see the text. I see what you said to her. That's an invite. He's like, no, it's not. And acting stupid. Once again, a man acting clueless as if he doesn't understand what she is saying. And maybe in a man's head, he doesn't understand what she is saying. But I understood clearly what she was saying. It's the principle of it. It's the fact that you did it. And I had to find out from someone else that you indeed did that. And that hurt me. All right. And he still wasn't getting it. It's like you piss on me and tell me it's raining. That's kind of how I felt he was kind of approaching her, which made me mad and made me like, I'm actually on Erica's side for once. I'm actually on Erica's side for once because, again, even though I think it was completely ridiculous as to her and Yandy, that whole dynamic, and her even remotely thinking that Safari and Yandy might have been flirting or had something, which is utterly ridiculous. It's the fact that he did it anyway. It's the fact that he knew there was something, not understanding what it was, but he still knew. But he still went behind her back and did it. So I'm on Erica's side on this one. I really am. But he did, in fact, later on try to make it up to a little romantic gesture. He ended up proposing to her again, all that, yada, yada, yada. All right, now we move on to Remy Ma. Now listen, a few videos ago, somebody came in my comments was like, Remy Ma is the best. This is don't insult her. Talking about she just should hang it up. I stand by that. I do. And I feel like Remy Ma doesn't want to do this anymore. I just don't. I think Fat Joe is sitting there pressuring her to get back in the studio. She's feeling conflicted about what she really wants to do because Remy Ma has had a great comeback since she's been out of jail. She has had an amazing comeback. She is on State of the Culture. She has all these different business ventures. And her family life, of course, she got remarried to or had the wedding she wanted to Papoose. She has the baby. Her family is doing well. And like I said, she is doing well career-wise. But the rap thing, I just feel like the world has moved on from the Remy Ma rap. And it's not just her. I don't want to single her out, but the world has technically moved on from that. All right. It's still relevant in certain little spots here and there, that battle rap, that type of rap, but the world in general has moved on from it. And I feel like she knows that. I feel like her heart is just not into it. If you watched her in the studio, people was clowning her on social media about how she sounded. I just don't think she's there anymore. And I don't think that she should be pressured to just leave her alone, Fat Joe. Leave her alone and let her, she loves being a mom. She loves all these other things she wants to do. Let her do that. I know that she says she still wants to do it and everything, but I just don't feel like her heart is into it. I just don't feel like her heart is where it used to be in this regard. All right. Now let's end this up with Erica. So Jonathan and Cyn meets up with Erica. And Jonathan is like, you upset me and my homegirl. Okay. And they're basically sitting there at a table and they're talking. It's like, I thought that what you did was messy when you tried to hook Tahiri up with Joe. And now you have to remember, Cyn and Erica were once together. They were in love. That's how we even came to know who Cyn was, because Erica brought her into the show because they were in some kind of lesbian relationship, right? And I gotta be honest, I'm totally on Erica's side. So they feel a way because they feel like Erica was trying to play Cupid to get Tahiri and Joe together, even though she knows the background between Cyn and Joe, and she was once with Cyn. And Erica was like, wait, hold up. I don't owe you anything. We are not together. We're not friends. So I don't owe you that. And a lot of people online was like, no, as a woman, she shouldn't have done that. Now, it was messy. Don't get me wrong. What Erica did was messy. That is true. But I don't feel that she owes anything to Cyn. I'm with Erica on this one. She doesn't owe Cyn anything. Now, the way she was responding is typical Scorpio shit. So some of y'all might have got mad just because that's just a Scorpio in her. That's just a Scorpio in Erica Mena. But I honestly think she meant it. I don't think she cares. All right. And she put this out here on the internet. These are her responses when people was like, why did you treat that woman like that? And how could you be like that to another woman? And I'm with Erica Mena. I'm not going to read all that. It's hard to, y'all can just kind of read it. But basically she is saying, this woman went behind my back and hung out with my enemies. So who is she to tell me what I should do and how I should move when it comes to Joe and Tahiri? Tahiri is my friend. Saying you and I are not together. And besides that, Joe and Cyn are no longer together. So does Erica owe Cyn anything if Joe has moved on? Cyn claims she has moved on. So that means, isn't Joe available? Isn't it? And what responsibility does Erica have to Cyn? Like I said, it was this back and forth. I saw it all over social media. People getting mad at Erica about that. Do you think that Cyn is right that because she's a woman, because they have a history, that Erica was wrong to try to hook up Joe and Tahiri? Or do you feel like, Erica is right in this because, again, Cyn and Erica are not friends. They are not friends. And because they are not friends and they're no longer together and Joe is a single man, is it wrong to want to hook up two people she knows? Tahiri, which is her friend, and Joe, who is a single man. Does she owe anything to Cyn in that regard? I actually don't think she does. I don't think, in my opinion, I just don't feel like the girl code applies here. If me and you ain't cool, me and you are cool. We don't fuck with each other. We don't fuck with each other. I don't owe you anything. And I think a lot of people are just upset about it because at one point or another, these women were in love. They cared about each other. And then you go, and Cyn is feeling like, and Jonathan feeling like, no, now you're going behind our back and doing this messy shit. It was messy, yes. But I still am riding with Erica on this one. I don't feel like she owes Cyn anything. And that's my take on it. So let me know what you guys think about this episode. Leave your comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.